Welcome, everyone, to the start of a brand new ARCS Octane season. We're glad you're with us for what should be a very fun race here at Daytona. 86 laps, 28 trucks ready to go racing here on the high banks of Daytona International Speedway. I'm Carmen Sienna. Glad you could join us here for what should be a fun weekend of racing across the board here in the state of Florida. Today and tomorrow in Daytona, Monday in Miami. 86 laps, as we mentioned. 3 stages. Stage breaks on lap 20 and lap 40. 28 trucks set to kick us off here. Kevin Feemster, Aaron Edwards will be on the front row here tonight. Kevin Feemster on pole position for the first time in what feels like ages for the 17 truck. Toby Estes and Briley Wright sit in row number 2. Teammates there from Bluegrass Bandits in that second row. Connor Knowlton, Eris George in row number 3 as we get this race ready to get this race underway. Colin McDonough and Matthew Seeger sit in row number 4. Josh Gaiman and Patrick Overstad in row 5. They round out your top 10 ahead of Aiden Norman and Chris Fleming. Dale Markowski, Gavin Gardner sit in row number 7. Behind Aiden Norman and Chris Fleming there. Seth Wansing and Noah Belleville sit in row number 8. Mark Dilla and Ryan Pinnell sit in row 9 ahead of James Kerr and Thomas Andrews amongst a very crowded field here for tonight's event. Stephen Choate and Aaron Conover sit in row 11. Riley Mauricio and Tyler Patterson sit in row 12 ahead of Bren Roberts and Dean Clavitt. Tommy Withers and Austin Gaughan in row 14, and Tristan Catania on his lonesome in row number 15 in that 29th position. 86 laps, 216 miles, a tribute to the late Greg Biffle, who passed away the week of Christmas during the wintertime. 29 trucks on hand to get ready for the action. As I mentioned, stages on lap 20 and lap 40, and the weather practically perfect. 68 degrees, the temperature, both track-wise and in the air. Not a lot of wind either. 6-mile-an-hour winds is laughable in these trucks. Extra formation lap here for the Truck Series grid as we get ready to get underway here at the World Center of Racing. Get you used to who is driving what manufacturer here tonight in Daytona. A mixture of Chevrolets, Fords, and Toyotas. Ford and Toyota on the front row. Your best Chevrolet in 5th, a Congo line of them from 5th through 8th. Pretty balanced mix. Looks like a little bit less on the Toyota side than there is on Chevrolet and Ford, but a balanced mix of both. Delta Sport, one of the favorite teams here with Aaron Edwards and with Matthew Seeger, both of them in the top 5. Running split manufacturer. Edwards in the Toyota, Seeger in the Chevrolet. We get ready to go here in Daytona. Again, 29 trucks, one of the best fields the High Octane Series has had here in quite some time. Kevin Feemster, Aaron Edwards set to kick us off. A new season is underway. We're racing at Daytona. First lap in the books here at Daytona. That was first lap led by Aaron Edwards, the Delta Sport driver, leads the way. Feimster on the bottom lane. Going to try to lead the back. There's a gaggle of cars here. Three wide, 4 rows. To the front of the field, leading the middle lane. That is the 40, Edwards George, Bahama Boss. A little bit of latency there between the two Delta Sport cars. 15 of Aaron Edwards, the 16 of Matthew Seeger lead the outside lane, make that the middle lane now, as Feimster leads the field. Feimster has support from Toby Estes. Car shuffled to the apron there below the yellow line, the out of bounds rule. I believe it was Ryan Pinnell, it was, the 12. A lot of jockeying here early in Daytona. And in that process, what we're looking to see, who is the mysterious person shuffled to the back, Bryn Roberts shuffles his way forward. With help from Riley Mauricio, Bryn Roberts in that 84 truck gets a Toyota 1-2 out in front. That Carvana 84 that you'll see next week in St. Petersburg, Florida. For the first Truck Series race on a street course. A little preview for Bryn Roberts. He leads the way here in Daytona. Out of turn 4, Mauricio in tow. Kevin Feimster sitting in third. But it's contested. There's Aaron Edwards trying to make his rally back to the front. 37, Patrick Oberstadt. We know how good he is. He is a winner here in this series at this racetrack. He is in between the two Delta Sport cars. Edwards in the 15, Seeger in the 16, Patrick Oberstadt in the middle. A lot of 3 wide early on in the opening laps here. As we complete lap 5, we have shuffled back down to 2 wide racing here at Daytona as Roberts leads another lap. Mauricio, Feimster, Edwards, Oberstadt, Estes. Round at your top 6 at the moment. One truck off the pace, and abundantly so, is the 62 of Aiden Norman, 2-time Truck Series champion in ARCS. Off the pace and losing time fast here in the season opener. Mauricio's gotten in front of Bryn Roberts as the 3 wide forms up again. The Delta Sport cars have split lanes a little bit. Seeger with support from the 52. That is Gavin Gardner, one of the several rookies in the field. And Seeger jumps in front of his teammate and leaves Gardner to his own devices as Mauricio leads the way. That is Noah Belleville, the Haas 41, dropping to the back of the field. The slot in front, it looks like, of Ryan Pinnell. Four rows, 3 wide. They're all behind the American Red Cross machine of Riley Mauricio. Gardner with some support. Moving forward. It is Stephen Choate. There's 233 trucks in this field. One's supposed to be the 72, and that is that of Stephen Choate. As Choate tries going for the race lead. Forward, Seth Wansing, that Valvoline number 5 on the outside lane with support from Josh Gaiman, it looks like. Indeed, it is Josh Gaiman, the 61. A little squirrely there on the outside lane. Ryan Pinnell's up there on the outside lane as well. Looks like the Bass Pro Shops Toyota moving outside lane as well. With the 88, Austin Gahn, one of several rookies in this field. Gaiman gets to the front and will lead lap 10. 3 wide, 5 rows. A lot of bobbing and weaving. And around goes Wansing, outside lane. We wondered when it would happen, and it's a big one. That is the majority of the field. You've got maybe 4 cars not involved in this opening caution of the night. Gaiman out in front of it all. It started not far behind. Seth Wansing getting squirrely on the tri-oval and running out of space. And most of the field gets collected. Let's take a look. And you can kind of see there, it's already begun. Seth Wansing gets himself turned around there, and we'll back it up. See if we can get a good look here. Spotter cam should give us a little bit of an idea here. From up above, it's Fleming behind Wansing here. Middle is Stephen Choate and Aaron Edwards, and everyone moving around. It looks like Stephen Choate moves first, tags Seth. Seth bounces off the wall, and Wansing checks up. Ryan Pinnell checks up behind him as well. But Stephen Choate just continues to squeeze the outside lane there, puts Fleming into the wall, tags the 5 of Wansing, and sends him for a wild ride, and everyone else goes spinning as well. It's 15 of Edwards, Mauricio. There's the 22, the 48, the 17, the Holstetter of Kevin Feemster involved. 39 of McDonough, the 40 of Howard George. Up in the air, that is the 18 truck. That is Chris Fleming, who is in front. That's the 88 car of Austin Gahn, as Wansing comes to an unfortunate stop here in the grass. Looking real speed. It happens quick here at Daytona. A bit of airtime for several drivers here in the opening caution of the night. Several drivers see if they take to the grass to avoid the melee. And a lot of trucks looking at extended repairs. Only 7 trucks without damage. Only 7 of 28 that took the green flag. 21 trucks with damage here. spells for a long night here in Daytona. 21 trucks involved. Sorry, I'm going to go ahead and expand that. 23 trucks involved is the correct number. 21 with significant damage is how that spells out. 23 of 28 trucks involved in the first caution of the season. And you see the cars as they roll out from pit lane. Very scary, the situation there. Walking on eggshells will be how some drivers approach this next stanza of the race here in Daytona. Now a sector of haves and have-nots under this opening caution here at the World Center of Racing here. 86 laps, stage break for the first time coming up on lap 20, the end of lap 20. Stage points on offer for those that have followed ABN series that we've broadcast before, like HTL and other series. Same process. 10 points for a stage win. It scores points all the way down to 1 point for 10th. Stage 2 on lap 40 will do the same thing. 21 trucks involved in the first caution of the season. Leaves us with Josh Gaiman, Matthew Seeger, Patrick Oberstadt, and Colin McDonough as your top 4 for this upcoming restart here. Very interesting to see how this all plays out. "20 races the calendar for the High Octane series, with all of it beginning here tonight. We stay in Florida. Next Saturday we'll be in Homestead, Miami, just like we are on Monday for the HTL Cup Series. March 7th is at Texas. March 14th, North Wilkesboro. Then Nashville and Eldora end out the month of March. Ready to go back racing here on lap 14 at 86. Gaiman, Seeger, Oberstadt, McDonough, Conover, and Estes, your top 6. Green flag flies, and away we go. Better run in the outside lane. Seeger, with support from McDonough, gets to the front. Seeger drops to the bottom lane and leaves McDonough and Estes to their own devices. Docking around back and forth. That was Gardner and Norman for 7th. They get it sorted out. McDonough slides backwards before being split 3 wide. The 84 of Brendan Roberts, once again with support from Riley Mauricio. And the 33 of Dale Markowski. Toby Estes slides in front of Aiden Norman behind Gavin Gardner, that Bush Apple 52. Conover in the 20, that patriotic number 20 machine, that Bass Pro Shops Toyota, sitting in 4th behind Patrick Oberstadt. Josh Gaiman in 2nd behind Matthew Seeger. The 16 and the 61. Running nose to tail, Chevrolets out front as we exit turn 4 here on lap 15. We talked about the haves and have-nots. There are definitely now two groups of cars. The haves and have-nots have begun. This is the lead pack. About 18 trucks. 10 not in this group. How aggressive do you decide to be? Is the next question, knowing that the stage break is coming up here in 5 laps. See how this pans out. Aaron Conover leads the outside lane, battling for 4th place against Gavin Gardner. Bryn Roberts supporting the 20, while Estes supports the 52. Bryn Roberts looks for position. He tries to go to the outside. Mauricio will follow. And they will put the 20 at Conover in the Hornet's nest and slide him backwards towards Markowski. Here comes a move to the outside lane. Gardner with support from Estes. And Norman following like a shadow. Top 3 still out front. But the charge is coming and they've got numbers. What does Seeger do about the line up above? Gardner and Estes working together. Outside lane in play as well. Roberts and Mauricio trying to surge forward again. Remember, stage caution comes out the end of lap 20. Unless a caution comes out between now and then. Noah Belleville back in the mix in the 41. Norman drops to the bottom of the racetrack. So does Belleville. So does Conover. And Gardner, the rookie, in an attempt to get to the promised land, will now be shuffled back out of the top 10. And now Oberstadt will line up and give it a shot. And Seeger goes up the block. Gaiman now on his own. Norman to the bottom. Seeger, mirror driving, gets to the bottom to protect from Norman. Norman and Belleville, longtime championship rivals in these trucks. Nose to tail in the top 3, along with the defending Truck Series champion from High Octane, Matthew Seeger, leading the way. Three of the best truck drivers in the ARCS competitions sitting front and center in this field. Here goes Norman. Norman with support from Belleville and Estes. Coming to the white flag in stage number 1. Here comes Bryn Roberts. Gaiman got loose in 3 and 4. But he saves it. And Roberts to the bottom of the racetrack. Side by side, Norman leads lap 19. 1 to go in stage 1. Gardner's back in the mix. The 52 is in play. Seeger back on the outside lane, looking for help. Not going to get it. Markowski left him out there. You're the defending Truck Series champion in High Octane. You've got a little bit of a target on your back. He knows that. He does have help from Gaiman. All reliables in play. It is Aiden Norman and Noah Belleville out in front. Out of 4. Belleville looks to the bottom of the racetrack. To the line. Belleville gets it. And the caution flies to end stage 1. We got there without tearing up too awful many more trucks here. Wild crash around lap 10. Involved 23 of the 28 starters here in Daytona. But all of them see the end to stage 1 here in Daytona to kick off the season. Now allow us to reset before we get to stage 2, which will end on lap 40. Everyone getting sorted here, catching up to the pace truck. Belleville leads. He grabs the stage win. Full field comes down pit lane as expected. More repair work being done for those that need it. With fuel and tires, the top priority for the field now. Lights go out on the pace truck. You're getting ready to start up stage number 2 that again ends on lap 40. See some straggling cars that are still getting damage repaired from the lap 10 crash that collected 23 cars. It gives us Brent Roberts and Gavin Gardner at the front of the field. Josh Gaiman and Dean Klavitz in row number 2. Patrick Oberstadt, Matthew Seeger, row 3. Mark Dila and Tyler Patterson in row 4. Harris George and Stephen Choate in row 5. All 28 trucks that started this race are still rolling and are now on the lead lap. However, we did see the effects of some of the damage that drivers had received during the opening stanza. We'll see if this additional caution in the repair period has given drivers a chance to put themselves back in the conversation here in Stage 2. Noah Belleville, the first stage winner of the new season. how it shakes out here in stage number 2. Pace truck is in. Stage 2 is underway. Green flag is back in the air. Couple of trucks keep struggling to keep up here, but everyone else seems to be largely in the lead pack. Roberts leads with Gardner behind, and then Josh Gaiman sitting in the 3rd spot. Riding on board with Dean Clavitt. Snap on number 56 as he sits in the 4th spot. Looks to the outside. And you see he's got some up behind him. Matthew Seeger trying to make his way back to the front of the field. Continues to lead with support there from the 52 and the 61. Seeing this from the spotter's cam above the broadcast booth here in Daytona. Aerial coverage here on ABM. Also getting a workout here around the World Center of Racing. Gives you a good idea of the type of momentum that drivers are carrying right now. Clavitt leading the outside lane, trying to get to the front. It looks like he just might do that. Roberts has led the last few laps. Here comes Clavitt, gets right in front of Roberts, and gives Seeger open road on the outside lane. And here comes Mark Dila in the 22. He got loose. Here comes Mauricio. Mauricio and Knowlton, the 24. He's made his way into the conversation. Mauricio looking for the front. Like a hound dog, he is making his way forward. Out of 4 to complete lap 27. It is Clavitt out front of Roberts, with Gardner in 3rd, Gaiman in 4th. Clavitt tried to block Roberts, couldn't get it done. And now Clavitt's sitting duck on the bottom. Knowlton gets to the top side. So did Patrick Oberstadt, and Clavitt has decided he's just going to drop to the back of the field rather than try to fight and potentially end up in the fence. Clavitt shuffled back in, but he's in the group that is losing touch with the leaders here. Just a little bit out in front. Roberts back in front. But keep an eye on the 37, Patrick Oberstadt. He's got some support from Connor Knowlton. Teammates, Delta Sport, outside lane. Seeger ahead of Edwards. 16 ahead of the 15 here. Patrick Oberstadt, new race leader. $11 to go in stage 2. But they are rolling pretty well at the moment. Car down below the yellow line. That's a double check. It looked like Colin McDonough, the 39. And it was. 3 wide, 3 rows. Outside the top 5. Mark Dealer trying to help out the Delta Sport cars, and he's going to get abandoned for his troubles there. In trouble, almost up and over Mauricio. And our third caution of the night comes out on the tri-oval. Huge rear impact for Mauricio. He almost went up and over, and a blowover crash. His car, all sorts torn up. It bails out Chris Fleming, who had lost the draft. But our third caution of the night, second for an incident. And Riley Mauricio wears a heavy amount of the scarring from the crash. This is a look at what happened as it happened along the front straightaway. Mauricio in the 32. Keep an eye on him. This comes down across the nose of Dale Markowski, the 33. Markowski ends up across the path of the 2 of Thomas Andrews. And you see Mauricio almost up and over. Thankfully, the roof flaps deployed. We kept the 32 on terra firma. Not everyone was so lucky. Ryan Pinnell with a pretty big hit. A lot of damage there, it looks like, for Dale Markowski. Looks like Teamster's got a little bit of damage. So does the 56 of Clavitt. So another half a dozen or so involved in some melee, and all of them involved in the initial crash of the night on lap 10. Back to live pictures here. Patrick Oberstadt leads the way. Lap down. Riley Wright has joined the field. He is 27 laps down after missing the start, but he is on the racetrack, hoping to play scavenger if we do start seeing retirements. Some fakers coming out of pit lane's line. Makes sense not to come down pit lane just yet. You know you've got less than 10 laps to go in the stage. Let's see how it all plays out. And most of the field did stay out there. 16 cars stayed out. 12 cars came down the pit lane. Caution out for the third time tonight here in Daytona for the High Octane season opener. We're going to step aside on Twitch for a commercial break. For those subscribers to Twitch Prime, enjoy the sights and sounds of Daytona. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, to the ARCS Octane season opener here in Daytona. Coming to a 6-lap shootout here to end out stage number 2. Oberstadt leads Connor Knowlton, Gavin Gardner, and Mark Dila as we get ready to get things underway once again. The green flag flies and away we go. So a restart there left Wanzing and the 88 of Austin Gone separated from the lead line for a little bit here. Wanzing gets up to the draft. He's attached to Matthew Seeger. Aaron Edwards is the car directly in front of Seth Wanzing. Matthew Seeger up in the 3rd spot. Gardner looking for a chance at the race lead. No bites there from the Delta Sport crew. They stay at bottom of the racetrack. 3 on 4. Gardner looking for the race lead. He's got help from Knowlton, and Knowlton's got help from Stephen Choate. And they've got momentum. Gardner out in front with 5 laps to go in stage number 2. Bad bump, big bump. They survive and hold on. Outside lane on a roll. And here comes the inside lane fighting back. Patrick Oberstadt and the Delta Sport team. Inside lane, they've got it covered. Stephen Choate trying to cover off Seth Wanzing, who was looking to the middle. And now here comes the side drafting. And it's going to get a very dicey. Does Knowlton stay on the bumper of the 52, or does he try to jump up? We'll find out. So far, staying lockstep with the rookie, who's back in the lead on the back straightaway. And he's got a really good shot here. Here comes the 33 at Choate. Here comes Knowlton, and the 52 covers him off. Three laps to go in the stage. And Gavin Gardner is running at the front of the field, doing an outstanding job. The drivers are inherently greedy. How greedy does Connor Knowlton feel like being right now? Stephen Choate will go with them. That's almost a guarantee. Here comes Wanzing in the 5. That Valvoline Chevrolet up to right there, the quarter panel of the 72 of Stephen Choate. Choate goes up the racetrack. If the going's getting tough, it's time to get going. And oh, trouble! 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 Cars spun around backwards. Stage ends early. It was Patrick Oberstadt that we saw T-boned. And they were all battling for the top 5. Another nasty crash. And that will bring stage 2 to an early close. Our 4th yellow of the night. And it's already started here at this point. Let's see if we can grab a look as to how it started. And with that, we need to jump out a little bit and zoom from the blimp cam high above. Looking at Seth Wanzing, the number 5 machine on your screen. Stephen Choate in front of him. Patrick Oberstadt on the line. They make contact initially. And that's where it all begins. Noah Belleville Does he get out of this? He's leading Aiden Norman. He does not get clear of all of this. Neither does Matthew Seeger. It's like Aaron Edwards gets pretty well clear of it. So one of the Delta Sport cars gets clear. This is going to get ugly in a hurry, though. Nowhere for Dila to go. Roberts has nowhere to go once that lane's blocked up. Car on the fence further back. That's 39 of McDonough. Wansing ricochets the 18 of Chris Fleming off of him. Catania and Roberts wave at each other as they pass by in the grass. Already underway here. There's not a whole lot you can do here other than brace for impact. That's kind of exactly what Seth Wansing did. Ronald Bordio with Mark Dila has a not so fun experience with this. Almost gets through up until right there. So close to getting out of that scot-free. Everyone down pit lane, all 29 trucks. And some more repair work being done here at the World Center of Racing. Gavin Gardner free and clear of all of that, though, and comes out of pit lane first. He'll win that battle off the pit road and lead the way ahead of Stephen Choate and Toby Estes, with Knowlton and Edwards rounding out your top five. Stages are over, which means it's now time to focus on the next 40-plus laps. Posted in the format, very reminiscent to how it's run in real life. No win and in situation. It is based on points. So we do have our first retirement of the night, and it is that of Colin McDonough. The 39 car is done for the night. Several trucks in pit lane for some extended repairs. Kevin Feemster, Matthew Seeger, Seth Wansing, Mark Dila, and Briley Wright all in the pit lane for repair work. So our first retirement is after the stages are over. So as you look right now, Gavin Gardner up 13 spots from where he started this race in the 52 truck. Not doing too bad for himself, the rookie, making his series debut here tonight. Toby Estes, one of the several Bluegrass Bandits here. He's sitting in the second spot here in second place. Not doing too bad for himself either. Stephen Choate. There he is. Supposed to be in the 72. There's 2 33s in this field instead. Markowski is the genuine 33. Stephen Choate, a bit of a mistake on this one. He sits in the top 5 as well. Connor Knowlton sitting in 4th. And his number 24 machine, Aaron Edwards. He survived the initial melee already. Gonna have to try to do a little bit more of that here in this final stanza. Riley Mauricio, the American Red Cross machine, also sitting in that top 6 conversation at the moment, has found his way to the front multiple times already in this race. He's trying to do it a little bit more. Go racing once again. The pace truck will take the left-hand turn down pit lane, and the green flag flies. Away we go. Inside lane prevails pretty well here. Now on this restart, Stephen Choate and Connor Knowlton got the leapfrog there. Worked out, I think, pretty well for them. Who's we're at the moment. As Riccio gets back out front with help from Dean Clavitt, who did not look the most stable there. And he's going to get down to the bottom of the racetrack where he wanted to be. Riccio now with help from Edwards as Clavitt tries to challenge for the front of the field. There goes the 60. Tommy Withers, if not had said his name at all tonight until now. He's in the top 6, starting line outside lane. And here comes Edwards, gets the bottom of the racetrack. Looking for the race lead himself. 28 cars circulating around the racetrack. Only Colin McDonough is out. Matthew Seeger well off the pace, in danger of going a lap down. One of those that were severely wounded in that last caution. Kevin Feemster also wounded, as is James Kerr and Seth Wanzing. The other 23 in this group. Riccio leads. Edwards on the bottom, trying to take it away. Out of turn 2, level. Oh, a lot of dancing, a lot of bumping. That was Withers that gave a huge bump, and trouble further back. 5th caution is out. That bails out everyone that needed it, but it creates more problems. Thomas Andrews got spun, but he wasn't the only one. Chris Fleming got spun as well. And Fleming, like so many others tonight, have almost flipped up and over. Once again, stays on his wheels. We've already seen flips tonight in the Winstel Gatorade duels. Let's take a look at this, because this is a little bit wild. Mauricio gets a wild bump, but saves it. The 32, fantastic job just keeping that car underneath of him. But it creates a checkup. And here's a good look at what that checkup looks like from high above. You run out of real estate so quickly. Fleming gets pushed ahead, while Andrews gets checked up in the same push, the same sequence. Draws 2 completely different reactions. Mikowski goes for a ride, and that is Austin Gahn that goes for a ride as well, the 88. And you can only do so much in that circumstance. Bradley Wright, and you can see on the bottom left of your screen, Bradley Wright, there's an orange and black flag next to his name. After missing the start with a technical issue, he has been called back down the pit lane for repairs for accident damage. So he will score points, but it's effectively his day is done. As you see the battle on pit lane and coming off of it. See the amount of trucks still on pit lane for some extended repairs. It'd be quite lengthy, I do believe. Darren Edwards, though, leads the way. Wins that race off pit lane at Belleville. Aiden Norman sitting in third. Dean Clavitt in fourth. Tommy Withers rounds out your top 5 for this upcoming restart. Our 6th of the night. Go back racing for our 6th restart of the night. Edwards and Noah Belleville at the front of the field. Aiden Norman, Dean Clavitt, Toby Estes, Tommy Withers, your top 6. Bryn Roberts, Josh Gaiman, Connor Knowlton, and Rowley Mauricio, your top 10. Ace truck is in. Green flag flies, and away we go. here on the back straightaway. Serpentine dance into turn 3. As Edwards and Belleville jockey for position, trying to lead this race. Clavitt right to the bumper of Belleville will push him to the front of the field. .37 laps to go here in Daytona. Belleville and Clavitt get to the bottom of the racetrack. They got clear of Edwards. And it leaves Toby Estes up top there on his own. Belleville goes back up top. Clavitt to the bottom. Outside lane just a little bit better put together for that exchange. Teammates now on the outside lane leading that line. Bryn Roberts third in line on the outside in the 84. Clavitt's got to rely on help from Edwards and from Aiden Norman. Bandits get down on the bottom of the racetrack and leave Bryn Roberts up top on his own. Making his reemergence, Aaron Conover. Oh, bad bump there. Belleville got shuffled all the way in front of the 84 by Toby Estes. They held on to it. Could have gotten nasty in a hurry. Trucks in the middle, 4 of them, trying to find real estate. That was Ryan Pinnell who was having to back out of the sucker hole there. Everyone trying to make moves here. Believe if the map lines up, there's still a pit stop due in this race. Whether or not it happens under green or under yellow, different story. But we are looking at a yellow of some kind, or looking at a pit stop of some kind to get to the end of this race. Almost trouble there between Seth Wansing and Mark Dila. They backed out of it and got away with it. Is out here. It's trouble for Thomas Andrews and others. Toby Estes involved there. See the 26. That is Tyler Patterson. Also involved. Looks like another car involved there. Is that the 48 Catania? It is. 7th yellow of the night. And it starts with the 2 of Andrews getting up into the fence in front of Mauricio. And then Andrews bounces off the fence. Tags Toby Estes. Gets back in front of Mauricio. And the scramble is on from there. Catania gets turned. Patterson tries to swerve to avoid it. And just trying to crowd Mauricio out of space there, and they both end up in the fence with some more damage to repair. And that gives us our 7th yellow of the night. Watching battle off pit lane here. Seth Wanzing leads the way. Had Aaron Conover, Aaron Edwards, Noah Belleville, and Tommy Withers back in the top 5 there in the number 60. Nice looking Royal Crown Cola machine. Pulling around. Josh Gaiman, Aiden Norman, Dean Clavitt, Mark Dila, and Gavin Gardner round out your top 10, leaving pit lane this cycle. Under our 7th yellow of the night. Been a very chaotic race here to kick off the weekend. Getting ready to go back racing here. 7th yellow of the night. And Seth Wanzing leading the way. There's Wanzing. Aaron Conover to lead the way on row 1. A long single file tail behind the 6th row. A lot of cars coming down for pit repairs. We'll cycle them to the back of the field. 26 cars on the lead lap here. 2 retirements officially in this race. Rylan Mauricio joining Colin McDonough on the retirement queue. Bradley Wright still circulating. He is 27 laps down from the leader, trying to poach those positions from Colin McDonough and now Mauricio. And he has the ability to do so as we come to 29 laps to go. He can gain those 2 spots, but those will be all the spots he can gain as things sit. Green flag flies, away we go, and a good launch by Wanzing. Can Seeger follow through? Sorry, Aaron Edwards, 15. Seeger's down in 20th place. He has not had quite the race his teammate has had so far. Nose to tail. Both lanes running pretty well there down the back straightaway. Conover has the better momentum here. Belleville's going to push him all the way into turn 3 and jump down in front of Wanzing. He wants the race lead for himself. Who doesn't? Question is, can Conover keep him at bay with the help now from Noah Belleville? You see Edwards jump to the outside lane pretty quick to get around Belleville, and it worked. Conover led that lap, but here we go. Once again, side by side. Stragglers further behind, trying to keep in touch. Edwards out in front. Mark Deal is sitting there in second place. I realize we're having issues with the overlay that disappeared for some reason. Bear with us, trying to get it fixed. Here. Not sure why it decided to not work for us right now. Oh, there we go. It was working. Got it. There we go. Edwards leads the way over Fleming, over Conover. Josh Gaiman in the 4th spot. Noah Belleville in the top 5 at the moment, but as you can see on your screen, there are 20 trucks in the top. 20 trucks in this lead pack. I was going to say 20 trucks in the top 20. Like, yeah, that's how it works. Edwards leads the way, but is losing support pretty quickly. Tries to go up to block Fleming. Belleville goes middle 3. Edwards covered off Fleming, and the 3 wide dies out pretty quickly. Fleming goes to bomb the racetrack. Dila will go with Belleville and Wanzing and Ryan Pinnell stay on the outside. outside lane here. Outside lane is prevailing so far. Fleming, not a lot of legitimate help there. Mark Dealer trying to get to him. Wow, look at that. Big move. Noah Belleville to the front. And pulls Wansing alongside. Ryan Pinnell makes his debut in the top 10 tonight. First time tonight for him. And he's in a pretty hot line to do it. Belleville, does he stay on the outside lane or does he cover off the bottom? Fleming pushing the 15 of Edwards. So the outside lane is the place to be at the moment. Will it stay that way? That is the question. "23 laps to go here in Daytona. And 20 trucks still have a really good shot at winning this race. Outside lane prevailing big time right now. The inside lane just falling apart at the seams. And Belleville and everyone behind him, Wansing, Pinnell, Gaiman, staying outside lane. Pit stops. There's some of those pit stops. Stephen Choate, Gavin Gardner, Connor Knowlton, and Brent Roberts. All down the pit lane. There is a thought process to this right now. Coming to 20 laps to go. And 16 cars in this lead group. Seven cars circulating, 26 on the lead lap. Looking at the lead pack right now, all 16 trucks in this group, from Belleville down to Elrich George. It's becoming more and more of a single file line as the pit stop question looms over the very near future. 4 cars on the bottom of the racetrack, everyone else topside. We've got 5 trucks here, everyone trying to posture themselves for a pit stop cycle here, which is why you're seeing so much of the single file running. Not so much the case there with the Delta Sport trucks, the orange nose trucks, the 15 and the 16 of Edwards and Seeger. They thought about putting it middle 3 wide, instead just moved to the bottom of the racetrack. Body language very important here on the super speedways, and they do go middle 3 wide, at least the 16 of Seeger do. a lot of posturing. Those that are hugging the yellow line, they're probably going to be amongst the first ones to come down pit lane under this green flag cycle. We saw that with the initial crop of 4 trucks. Those 4 trucks, by the way, now running faster than leaders. They took fuel only on their stops. Smart. It's the right thing to do in this circumstance. And try to get them to the end of the race. We are less than 20 laps to go here in Daytona. This last pit stop will do it. The question is just, when do you make that stop? 7 cars on the bottom of the racetrack, 3 in the middle lane, everyone else up top. Inside lane being led by Chris Fleming. Outside lane being led by your race leader, Noah Belleville. Middle lane was filled with the Delta Sport trucks, who now circulate back to the top of the racetrack without much of a gain in either direction. There's George, stays in the back of this line. He knows when it's go time. He has almost won this race twice in that number 40 truck. Keep an eye on that Caterpillar number 40, that Ford. He's going to try to do what he's not been able to do yet, and that's win a race. This is one of his best opportunities to do so. James Kerr also in the mix. Number 75, he's in the 14th position. He's had a very difficult week. Trying to get his mind away from reality for a little bit, and say his focus is so far showing pretty well at the moment. He is in the conversation here with less than 20 to go to try to win the season opener. He has not won a race on ABN screens since 2022, back in Fontana in the A-Square Cup Series. A little bit of hip checking between Austin Gahn and Matthew Seeger. They got away with it, but it separated the teammates for Delta Sport. Edwards stuck on the outside lane. He was trying to follow through, couldn't do so. Seeger on the bottom of the racetrack in front of Clavitt. 3 wide in the middle. Here comes Edwards. And Seeger moved to the middle thinking he was going to get his teammate back, and no. Now they're just fully in opposite lanes here. Belleville, Fleming, Wanzinger top 3, and it's going to shuffle more. Brian Pennell stays in this top 5 conversation at the moment. Ardila is punching up high above his weight class. He's doing a great job so far. As the laps continue to tick away. Looking at 15 laps to go. Outside lane has prevailed most of this stanza here in Daytona. Whether or not it sticks for the remainder is to be seen. We do know pit stops are looming in the distance. They are not far away. Well, I think we can see that our first gaggle of cars coming down the pit lane on this exchange will be those on the bottom of the racetrack. The 60. And that is Withers ahead of Seeger, ahead of Edwards. Do they come down pit lane this time? No. This is Withers just trying to get to the front of the field. He has gotten to the front of the inside lane. Can the Delta Sport cars push him the rest of the way? Feemster and Andrews separated from those that came down pit lane first. Stephen Choate, Connor Knowlton, Gavin Gardner, and Bryn Roberts. They are still faster than the leaders at the moment. They have gotten themselves organized and lined up, and they are trying to set sail. The 2 cars straggling. Feemster and Andrews in danger of going a lap down, which is worst case scenario in a situation like this. You do not want to have to worry about being a lap down and a caution come out late. You need to hold on to that lead lap for dear life. Belleville continues to lead. on the racetrack now. Is that a sign of pit stops to come? Don't have access to radio comms, so we can't hear who's coming in and who's not. For us, it's a wild guess, but we assume that it's not far away. 6 trucks have already made that stop. Rest of the field still waiting. 16 trucks in this lead group. It is looking very likely that Kevin Feemster and Thomas Andrews will go a lap down before that pit stop takes place. Right in front of the leaders see them. And both of them are going to bow out below the yellow line and get out of the leader's way. They want no part of what's coming up. That's a fair assessment to make. Ten laps to go. Caution is out for the 8th time. And it is Mark Dila. He's found the wrong way around, and that bails out most of the field. Car rolling through the grass. That is Bradley Wright. Let's take a look at this 8th caution of the night. Good old slow motion replay here. Probably right, the 51. A little bit off center there. I don't know if he realized that he was 3 wide. Turns in front of Clavitt. Nowhere for Dila to go. Dila gets jacked up the racetrack there by James Kerr, who had nowhere to go. And there goes Dean Clavitt for a tumble. He goes for a wild ride. Everyone gets those trucks back rolling, though. But that will do a hard reset on this field. "27 trucks on the racetrack here with less than 10 laps to go. Practically most of the field come down pit lane here. Do those that came down pit lane on lap 65 come down pit lane? That is a very interesting question. I don't think it's universal. No, they do not. They do not. They stay out. Gavin Gardner, Brennan Roberts, Stephen Choate, and Connor Knowlton, they all stay out. They will move to the front of the field. We wondered how that would pan out, and they believe that they are good. They pit on 22 laps to go. I have reason to believe that that should be fine. The question is, do we have to worry about green-white checkers tonight? Fuel only stops for most of the field, so tire wear not a concern for most of the field, so everyone's going to be on level footing there. importantly, this pulls the field back together again. And a pretty decent amount of separation there on that caution. Everyone gets brought back together here for less than 5 laps to go when we go back racing. Go green with 5 laps to go on the nose here for this restart. "25 trucks on the lead lap. Only truck 1 lap down. Kevin Feemster, Bradley Wright, still 27 laps down at this point. Ready to go back racing here. It's going to be Gavin Gardner and Bren Roberts at the front of the field. Connor Knowlton and Stephen Choate in row 2. Noah Belleville, Ryan Pinnell, Josh Gaiman, Seth Wansing, Chris Fleming, and Matthew Seeger, your top 10. But again, 25 trucks on the lead lap here. It'll be exciting times to see how this all plays out. 5 laps to go here in Daytona. Outside lane, more put together again. That's dangerous for the inside lane right now. Bren Roberts gets to the front. Knowlton and Belleville all in the conversation. There is Ryan Pinnell in the conversation as well. Wansing up there. Seeger's in that conversation. Gaiman in the top 10. 5 on 5, but there's more help coming for the outside lane. That is Norman and Conover. The 62 and the 20. Coming to 4 laps to go. The posturing and the planning has come to these laps. These are the championship rounds. Every race you have to confront. Inside lane has a lot of help right now. Belleville and Ryan Pinnell controlling the outside lane with Seeger in tow. Trouble, a little bit of latency there for Belleville. Through Ryan Pinnell off guard. Roberts goes, slides up the racetrack. They're beating and banging everywhere, and there's trouble. Toby Estes. Huge crash. We've got overtime. 9th yellow of the night. huge crash on the tri-oval on the front straightaway. Beating and banging got pretty rapid, pretty quick. Was concerned about Matthew Seeger, the 16, up into the front. It actually happens further back here. Norman and Wanzing get together, the 62 and the 5. Estes tries to slot into a gap that just isn't all the way there, trying to get in front of Josh Gaiman. Catania ends up getting turned off across the 37 of Patrick Oberstadt. Austin Gone, so close to getting through that. Instead gets clipped in a pretty massive way. The 26, Tyler Patterson, gets involved as well. Conover goes to the grass there. Catania goes to the grass. Conover clips Tommy Withers. And another dozen-plus car involvement in this 10th caution of the night. Re-rack the field, and we will have overtime. Coming down pit lane for repairs. Still a lot of gunslingers, though, in this top 10 trying to win here at Daytona. Teamster gets back on the lead lap. You got Belleville, you got Bren Roberts, you got Matthew Seeger, Ryan Pinnell, Connor Knowlton, Seth Wanzing. Those are all veterans that have won here at Daytona. Gavin Gardner, he has been a very consistent rookie in this field tonight. He is in the top 10 alongside former two-time Truck Series champion here in ARCS, Aiden Norman. Stephen Choate, he's been up there. Patrick Oberstadt, a former winner of this race in these trucks. Some pretty big guns in the top 10 for this overtime attempt. Fuel saving going on here. Some of the trucks running on the bottom of the racetrack. There's 26 trucks on the lead lap. go racing once again. 11th restart coming up. Roberts, Noah Belleville, front of the field. As we mentioned before, a lot of gunslingers in this top 10 that can easily find their way to victory lane here in Daytona. 26 trucks on the lead lap. And every one of them's got a chance to make something happen. Pace truck pulls off onto pit lane. It's Belleville and Roberts at the front of the field. Green flag flies, away we go. Belleville, great launch. And Seeger was there with them. Connor Knowlton, the 24, also in the conversation. Belleville went topside. Seeger feigned going with them, went down to the bottom. 2 laps to go. And they're going to push like mad. 3 wide already for the back. Already in the fence. In trouble. Stephen Choate turns Aiden Norman, and we are going to have to re-rack them and try again. And Choate finds his way all the way to the inside wall. Aiden Norman pirouetted, but it looks like very minimal damage on him. So let's take a look here from high above, and we're going to need to back it up here because it's not just this moment in a bubble. It is everything that leads up to it. Just the huge checkups here. Wands feigns going to the outside lane, and I think he just overreacts as he tags the wall. That Valvoline machine, that 5 truck. But it checks up on the inside lane as well, and Stephen Choate, nowhere to go, gets turned by Patrick Oberstadt, who clips Aiden Norman. Norman goes for a wild ride. There's Mark Deela getting involved. That is Aaron Edwards in the 15 that scrambles to avoid the melee. Aiden Norman got a huge piece of that as well. He's not completely scot-free on this. Patrick Oberstadt got a piece of it, and so did, it looks like that is potentially Dean Clavitt. It is Dean Clavitt, the 56. They got a huge piece of it as well. Real speed coming at you. Hard hits for a lot of trucks there. And several coming down pit lane. Live pictures on your screen right now. So we will rack them up and give it another go. Second attempt at overtime. caution for the 12th time tonight. A very physical, very demanding race here in Daytona. 26 trucks on the lead lap. Everyone's been involved in an accident of some kind tonight. And once again, we have a front row lineup of Noah Belleville and Bryn Roberts. Matthew Seeger, Ryan Pinnell in row 2, Connor Knowlton and Aaron Edwards, row 3, Seth Wansing and Gavin Gardner, row 4, Mark Dila and Aiden Norman, row 5. Again, 26 trucks on the lead lap here as we look at our second overtime attempt. We're ready to go racing here for another 2-lap shootout. For 26 trucks on the lead lap here with 12 cautions has left the field anxious and impatient. Do we get to see the white flag this time by? We'll find out. Green flag flies, away we go. Another good restart there for both Belleville and Seeger. And once again, Seeger jumps at the first opportunity to try to move around and get to the race lead. This is a racetrack that traditionally does not treat him kind in ARCS. We'll see if it changes here. He gets to the front and he leads the way at a turn number 2. He's got to cover both lanes in mirror drive. 26 trucks on the lead lap. A lot of positions up for grabs here in Daytona. Seeger blocks Roberts once, couldn't block him twice. Through 3 and 4. Huge shot from Belleville to Seeger. Roberts blocks. We are going to see the white flag. 1 lap to go here in Daytona. Roberts leads the way. Will he lead it back to the stripe? Pinnell got squirrely off the nose of Connor Knowlton. The more they fight in that 3-wide situation, the worse it's going to be for them. Inside line like a bunch of sardines. They can't go anywhere. Here goes Seeger to the middle. They're going to be aggressively bumping here out of turn 4. Roberts leads the way. Trouble. Norman goes up and over. Norman flips and flies. Door to door, side by side. It's Bryn Roberts that wins. And sparks fly behind. Huge crashes on the final lap. But Bryn Roberts holds on to win at Daytona. Noah Belleville and Connor Knowlton unofficially, you round out your podium. But it's Bryn Roberts unofficially, or basically practically officially, your race winner tonight. Did everything he needed to do, got to the lead immediately, and did everything he needed to do to defend that race lead all the way to the stripe. Wild wrecks there at the end. Aiden Norman going up and over. See the fireworks going off in the distance. And a wild race. Results on your screen. Brent Roberts, Noah Belleville, Connor Knowlton. They are your top three. We'll try to hear from them here before the broadcast comes to a close. Seth Wansing ends up in fourth ahead of Aaron Edwards, Gavin Gardner, Ryan Pinnell, Matthew Seeger, Austin Gahn, and Thomas Andrews rounds out your top 10 here in Daytona. Stephen Choate, Tommy Withers, James Kerr, Aaron Conover, Chris Fleming, Josh Gaiman, Patrick Oberstadt, Toby Estes, Aiden Norman, and Kevin Feemster round out your top 20. All of them on the lead lap. Aiden Norman saw him flip and fly. He does see the checkered flag in this race. And you see the bottom line here. 29 starters in this race. All in all, Dean Clavitt, 21st. Erwish George, Mark Dila, Tyler Patterson, Tristan Catania, and Dale Markowski round out those to finish on the lead lap. Briley Wright grabbed 2 spots after missing the start of this race. He ends up 27th ahead of Riley Mauricio and Colin McDonough, who rounds out the field here in Daytona. Full running order on the side of your screen right now. See if we can hear from some of our podium finishers here tonight. We'll start with the third place, Connor Knowlton here tonight, who had a wild view of everything happening both in the rearview mirror and in the windscreen. That being said, survival was key tonight. Walk us through it, Connor.
I got no idea. These super speedways are my worst enemy. I can do them really well. I can push. I can't lead, and I always end up in some mess at the end, in the beginning, that takes me out of contention. But we got caught up early. I think a lot of people got caught up early. That kind of took me out of stage points in stage 1. Stage 2, we really couldn't really go anywhere from where I was. Couldn't really capitalize on any stage points tonight. But stage 3, myself, Gavin, Steven, and Bren decided to gamble. Pit early, undercut the field. We got our caution, put us out front, and then from there it was just how do I get to the front? I just took my runs. I split Ryan 3 outside, took it to the middle, and then I didn't really have enough car. I had a little bit of damage that was slowing me down, so I couldn't generate a run to try and challenge for the win. But somehow, by some miracle, we put it on the podium, which is just as good as a win for me here, because Daytona just does not like me very much.
Everyone's super excited for the trucks. We had a good field tonight here. 29 trucks on the racetrack here. You talked about it. Everyone was involved in something tonight. 23 trucks in the first crash. 12 cautions in total. Gives it a rough start, but as you mentioned, you shake off some of the bad luck mojo that this track has brought to you here. We stay in Florida. We move to Miami in 7 days' time. Being able to start off with the podium and grab what you can here from Daytona, does that help kind of set the tone for the sort of the season when we head to some of these tracks that may be a little bit better in your warehouse?
Yeah, it's good to pick up a good result here. But the notebook for this place, and all the studying that I've been doing and all the prepping I've been doing for tomorrow, it kind of goes out the window when I go everywhere else. I put myself in a different mindset when I go here, so it's a good momentum boost. It just doesn't feel good to finally get a good result here. But once we load it up and we leave this track, everything's out the window, and I can't really carry anything forward. So I know what I got for Homestead. It's more so just looking ahead, saying, all right, this is the next track on the schedule. Daytona is what it is. If I got a good result, fantastic. If not, it is what it is, because it's just such a gamble. It's a good result, but I'm not going to let it I'm not going to get ahead of myself and think, we're going to have a great season, just because of how volatile everything is. So it's a good result, but at this point, as soon as we load up, we're just on to next week.
It's a good mentality to have here, and it's a decent amount of points here for Connor Knowlton. P3 here tonight in Daytona. He moves on looking to try to grab his first win of the season in 7 days' time at Homestead Miami Speedway. Before we let you go, Connor, if there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Take it away.
I'd like to give a big shout out to Just the Top Media. I'm really honored and privileged to be the primary sponsor of this series. So big shout out to all the stuff that we're going to be doing this season, all the content that I've got planned for High Octane. So Just the Top Media, I'm Lefty Designs, KST Graphics, Twisted Speed Setup Shop. Just give me another badass race car. And of course, Carmen, ABN, you guys are fantastic. It's a great broadcast to watch. So it's really a pleasure to be on this platform. So thank you.
Fantastic job for Connor Knowlton here. P3, scavenging, fighting, clawing, and surviving the battle of the fittest here in Daytona. We will see him again in Miami in 7 days. Connor, congratulations.
Thank you.
And we will move along to our race winner. I don't believe Noah Belleville wants to be interviewed tonight. I believe he's still going through the debrief here. But we do have our race winner, who we've talked to quite a few times here on ABN Broadcasting. Bryn Roberts brings it home, the race winner in that wonderful-looking 84 truck, that Carvana machine here at the World Center of Racing. Bryn Roberts, walk us through it. That was about the most clinical green-white checkered finish we've seen from a race leader here at Daytona. Got to the lead early and didn't let go of it.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun out there tonight. Got a great group of teammates that I didn't know I would have going into this race. Working with Riley, Steven, Gavin, and Connor. I was shocked. If you told me I was going to work with them at the start of the race, I would have said you're crazy. But joined up with them about 30 laps into the race and had a blast, honestly. We worked together really well. Finally had a group of guys who wanted to pit early in a pit cycle, and it worked out. And so, yeah, that was a lot of fun. And once we got up to the front, just doing the things that, we're all accustomed to doing, and, got lucky there with a couple pushes. I know me and Seeger got together going in the tri-oval, so I apologize for that. I think it was just a racing deal. I don't really know what happened. I haven't looked at it, but yeah, that was a lot of fun. Shout out to all the admins.
Obviously, a lot of fun here tonight to be had in these trucks. Obviously, a lot of fun seeing these trucks just sort of dance around, and we saw a lot of that here tonight. Obviously, racing season in full swing for you. It's never really stopped. We see you on Mondays regularly. We're going to see you here as well on Saturdays. But it's always nice winning and winning at Daytona. Obviously, for you, what is sort of the game plan? Is the full season the game plan? Are we looking at a championship challenge here on Saturday nights, or is it just sort of jump in when it's fun?
Yeah, I think it's definitely just going to be jump in when it's fun. I haven't really been able to put a full season together really in any leagues besides the HTL, and then here and there I was in A squared. But yeah, just a lot of fun. When you have a group of guys like I had tonight, and it's more motivating to show up every week. So shout out to them. When you have a field like we did tonight, a lot of great trucks out here, a lot of great drivers. So shout out to them. I mean, I hope it was a good race to commentate. I don't know. I mean, it felt good behind the wheel, but yeah, I mean, a lot of fun, and I'll show up when I can. But yeah, championship isn't really in the cards for me.
Well, we got to see a wonderful looking 84 truck grab victory lane here in Daytona. Obviously, we get to see you a lot on Mondays. We get to see you more throughout the season as the season rolls along here in High Octane as well. Before we let you go and obviously let you enjoy the weekend, enjoy the racing coming up here this weekend as well, if there's anyone to shout and say thank you, the floor is yours. I know we'll see you here in 2 days' time on Monday in Miami, but take it away.
Yeah, first I want to say thank you to you for the broadcast. Like I said, I hope it was a good race to watch. Felt good, but sometimes I know that doesn't always translate to a broadcast or watching experience. So shout out to all the admins who put this on. Shout out to the field, like I said. And then this race was called, I believe it was the Biff 216. So, I mean, I can't say anything that nobody else has about the Biff, but, what a great guy. And I hope more of us can be like the Biff and live life to its fullest like he did. So shout out to the Biff and everybody else I named.
A fantastic job for Bryn Roberts here tonight, winning on the high banks of Daytona. We'll see him again in Miami in 2 days' time for the HTL Cup Series race there on Monday. Bryn Roberts, congratulations on winning here in Daytona, and hopefully we get to talk to you again here in a couple days' time.
Thank you.
That was Bryn Roberts, your race winner here tonight. Noah Belleville declining to go through the interview process here. and that is perfectly fine and dandy. Running order on the left side of your screen again. Bren Roberts, your race winner. Noah Belleville, second place. Connor Knowlton in third. That is the gaps as they stood at the end of the race tonight for the 27 finishers here in Daytona. We hope to see you again tomorrow night, 7:45 p.m. We'll be live for the Winsdale Daytona 500 right here on the High Banks, and then we'll be live at 8:15 p.m. on Monday for the HTL Cup Series at Homestead, Miami. A lot of action in Florida the next couple days. On behalf of everyone here for the ARCS Octane series, all of its partners, and everyone here at ABN, I'm Carmen Sienna. Thank you all so much for joining us here. Racing is in full swing. We'll see you again tomorrow for more of it. Stay safe and stay healthy. We'll see you here tomorrow night.